Hello friends, this is Avinash Sharma here, and in this video lecture we are going to discuss about human reproduction, that is chapter number 3 of class 12th NCERT biology. Friends, this chapter for board exam, if we discuss, is carrying nearly 5 to 16 marks, that is out of 14 marks which is allotted for this unit, that carries 4 chapters. And for NEET exam, from this chapter there will be nearly 2 to 3 questions, that is 8 to 12 marks. So this chapter is going to be very important. This chapter is also directly correlated with chapter number 4, that is reproductive health, and you can also correlate this chapter from your class 11th NCERT like the living world, structural organization of animals, and also human physiology. Friends, in this chapter we will discuss about several aspects of human reproduction like human male reproductive system, human female reproductive system, gametogenesis, that is gamete formation, menstrual cycle, fertilization and implantation, pregnancy and embryonic development, parturition and lactation. Here, in this introductory lecture of this chapter, we will discuss only about the events which occur during human sexual reproduction. So, first, basic about human beings as a reproductive organism. So, human beings, as given here, they are unisexual or dioecious, means they have only one sex in one body. Second, fertilization. If we discuss about fertilization, here they have internal fertilization, that is advanced with respect to external fertilization. Next, human beings are viviparous in nature, means they are capable to give birth to their young ones. They reproduce only sexually. Asexual reproduction is not possible in human beings, and human beings show a very clear-cut sexual dimorphism. What is sexual dimorphism? So this is a characteristics where organisms of same species can be differentiated on the basis of their morphology, on the basis of their characteristics, on the basis of their body coloration. There are so many aspects which we can include during sexual dimorphism. So simply the word sexual dimorphism, sexual on the basis of sex, di for two, and morphology is given here in form of morphology, that is physical expression, physical appearance. So simply we can say on the basis of sexes, but not only sexes, on other aspects also, when any two organisms of the same species can be differentiated, that is known as sexual dimorphism. Now, what events occurs during sexual reproduction? So there is a list of nearly 9 to 10 events that we have to discuss here one by one. The first event that occurs during sexual reproduction is gametogenesis. What is gametogenesis? So here gameto for gamete and genesis for formation or synthesis. Gametogenesis is about gamete synthesis. There are two types of gametes, male gamete and female gamete. So male gamete is sperm, female gamete is ovum or egg. So the process by which male gamete synthesis occurs, this is known as spermatogenesis, and the site of synthesis is testis. So in human male, testis is the site for synthesis of male gamete or sperm, while the process is spermatogenesis. Same for female. The process of synthesis of ovum or egg, this is known as oogenesis, and this occurs inside the ovary. Testis and ovary both along with each considered as gonads. Testis considered as male gonad, while ovary considered as female gonad. Now, second event, that is insemination or ejaculation. There is a minor difference here in between the two, but generally we can use both as same. Insemination, here insemination means introduction of semen in female reproductive organ. Same like ejaculation. Ejaculation in simple terms we can say this is discharge or release of semen from male reproductive organ. But when this ejaculated semen injected inside female reproductive system, this is known as insemination. So what is insemination? This is transfer of semen from male reproductive system to female reproductive system. This occurs by external genitalia. What is external genitalia here for male? So this is penis. We discuss about all these in the same chapter. Now, what is semen? So semen is sperm plus glandular secretion. Sperm as well as glandular secretion along with each. Both are considered as sebum. What is glandular secretion here? So glandular secretion carries a number of nutritive substances along with mucus like substance that will provide nutritional capability as well as helpful for motility of sperm. Insemination, this is transfer of semen from male to female reproductive system. The third event is fertilization. Here in fertilization there is fusion of male and female gamete. Male gamete we already discussed is sperm, while female gamete is ovum. Both are haploid in nature. Why? Because they formed, already we discussed, they formed by respectively spermato and oogenesis that involves meiosis or reduction division. So after meiosis or reduction division there is reduction in number of chromosomes. That's why they both are haploid. What is haploid? Means they are carrying half number of chromosome, and this half number of chromosome for each one is 23. After fusion or fertilization there is formation of zygote, that is diploid structure. So here these are two nuclei respectively. Out of these two, one is from sperm while another is from ovum. So zygote is a diploid but unicellular structure that forms after fertilization. We can also use the term syngamy here for fertilization. The next fourth event is cleavage. Cleavage also known as embryonic mitosis. So what is embryonic mitosis and how this is different from normal mitosis? So in embryonic mitosis there is increase in number of cells but there is no increment in size, while in normal mitosis both number as well as size of cell gradually increases. So embryonic mitosis or cleavage, this causes conversion of zygote into embryo. So zygote that we already discussed is a unicellular single-celled eukaryotic structure, while after mitosis this converted into embryo. So here these are the two phases of embryo. The first one is morula, that is carrying 8 to 16 celled condition. This is very important. In morula how many cells are there? 8 to 16 cells. And how morula appears? So this is appearing like solid ball. This morula again after frequent mitosis converted into another embryonic structure, that is blastocyst or blastula. So what is blastula? This is hollow ball like structure, while here we discuss for morula this is mulberry shaped solid ball like structure. This is a rough diagram of blastula or blastocyst. Here the outermost layer is trophoblast. There is a projection of cells inside this trophoblast that is known as inner cell mass, and the cavity or space which is present internally here is blastocele. So there may be confusion about the terminology. Blastocyst or blastula is about total structure, while in blastula or blastocyst there are cavity. That cavity is known as blastocele. Every and each cell of blastocyst or blastula is known as blastomere. So blastocyst, blastula, blastomere, blastocele, all these terminologies are very important. After this, next one is implantation. So what is implantation? Simply this is attachment of blastocyst with endometrium. What is endometrium? So this is innermost layer of uterus, that is third layer. So in uterus there are three layers: epimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. So this is innermost third layer. Next is placentation. What is placentation? This is about placenta formation. What is placenta? So placenta is a temporary organ that formed in human female at the time of pregnancy, or we can say at the time of implantation. This also considered as temporary endocrine gland. Why? Because this formed temporarily only during pregnancy, and this is related with secretion of a number of hormones. For example, HCG, human chorionic gonadotropins. There is also one more temporary endocrine gland in female that forms at the time of menstruation or menstrual cycle. This is corpus luteum. So both these, placenta and corpus luteum, both are temporary endocrine gland. Now what is placentation? So this is given here: a feto-maternal connectivity between fetus and maternal tissues for nutrition, respiration and excretion of fetus by mother's body. So what placenta helps? Placenta is helpful for nutrition, respiration, excretion and several metabolic activities that occurs in between human female and the growing fetus. The next event is gastrulation. This is about gastrula formation. What is gastrula? So gastrula is a tri-layered structure that forms from blastocyst. So blastocyst after frequent mitotic division converted into gastrula, and gastrula carrying three layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, innermost endoderm. On the basis of these three layers, these three are considered as germinal layers or embryonic layers. Human beings are triploblastic in nature. They are carrying three germinal layers. So there is formation of gastrula after gastrulation. The next event is organogenesis. This is about development of organ. Gastrula after frequent mitosis converted into an small structure that is carrying organ system. Organogenesis is also known as morphogenesis as well as differentiation. So this causes formation of several organs in human fetal life. Next is parturition, that also simply termed as childbirth. So simply, as we know what is childbirth, this is expulsion of fully developed fetus or release of fully developed fetus, that is baby, from mother's body, that is uterus, after gestation period. What is gestation period? So this is duration that is in between fertilization and before birth. So before birth and after fertilization, this duration is known as parturition or childbirth. Now after childbirth there is development. That development is known as postnatal development. So here this is term development in case of human beings or other organism, also in animals especially. There are two type of development. One is considered as prenatal Second one is considered as natal. So natal or natality here is related with birth. Prenatal development occurs inside mother's body, and in this development there is development of embryo plus fetus, while postnatal development, this occurs outside mother's body, and in this there is development of individuals or offsprings that occurs after birth.